welcome to the third spin. We ain't got no time for no vowels. This is the 93rd round of the 15th season of the 83rd volume, second edition. I am very attractive, and with me is the inventor of the musical sensation sweeping the heliosphere, Wubba Lubba Dubstep, Meodred Magus Milosevic. Don't report him to the Hague.
Thank you. It is actually just the fifth round of the summer 2022 season. Actually, I really have no idea what season of 3D Speed we're actually on at this point.
98th.
Like, I've taken to just naming it after the time period it's occurring in, rather than giving it a numerical designation. It's probably like eighth or ninth season. I don't know. And we're here at Imola. Marcel Letelier currently on the pole position. Paul Riccobene, second place.
Hey,
And it's Max Simmons, Aaron Alexander, Zach Martin, Anthony Willis, Michael Magus, Oscar Tan, Wayne Hutchison, Mark Sobalski, Thomas Waz, Jeremy Reeder's at the back of the pack. That is not for lack of pace. Jeremy Reeder was having some technical issues throughout this entire process, and he dropped connection 2 or 3 times. So obviously he's not been able to get a legal lap in, and he's running out of time to do so. But he'll probably be starting at the back as we check out Zach Martin, trying to make a late run. The Hondas don't look so great here, down in 3rd and 5th. That's actually really underachieving for the Overclock Racing team of Max Simmons, the championship leader, and Zach Martin. They're shiny silver cars. Need some kind of nickname. Need some kind of nickname for them. Like Mercedes back in the 50s were called the Silver Bullets.
So I was going to go with the Silver Bullet Band. That's Bob Seger. But since it's already been done, we're going to have to call them the Mongol Assault Squad.
Could go with Silver X's. They got those 2 crosses on the side of their car there. The X shape.
Boring. We're going to call them Theodore, the team.
Theodore. Okay. Picking up Michael Magus as he works his way through. That was Piratella, and now we're into Aqua Minerale. The Aqua. And that is Mark Sobalski behind him there in the Lexus for the Lexar Us team. These 2 guys are actually 7th and 8th on the grid right now, so pretty important laps to try to get one up on each other. Good to see Anthony Willis in the field once again. Good to have Tom Waz. So we got actually got 3 bronze-rated drivers in the field today, which is good. And a quartet of silvers and a quintet of pros. Or pros is all the term in real life is pros, but at the same time I feel like as Magus ducks into the pit lane must not have had a very good lap going. And it'll be interesting actually. This pit lane tends to breed a lot of stop go penalties, so we'll see if people actually handle it right. But Letelier will lead us from pole from Riccobene, Simmons, Alexander, Martin, Sobalski, Willis dropped down to 7th place there. Actually, Spolsky jumping up to 6th. Magus will start 8th, ahead of Tan, Hutchison. Then it's Waz and Reeder. Championship-wise, coming to this, of course, Max Simmons has dominated this series. He has won all 4 races, has a perfect score of 180 points. Marcel Letelier is 2nd with 116, followed by Aaron Alexander and Dan French with 102. Dan French is not here today, so a big chance for other people to make up some ground. Jeremy Reeder and Mark Sobalski are tied for the top 5 spot with 70 points apiece. In the team's championship, it is 228 for the Overclock Racing HPD team. That is Max Simmons and Zach Martin, like we were talking about. That it is WRT Motorsports on 175. That is Magus, Riccobene, and Tan. And 114 for the 905 Racer team. That is Dan French and Robert Arzubian. They are not here today, so they will probably lose their spot in the top 3 to the Lexus Pass crew, which is Mark Sobalski, who is here, and the absent Connor Costantini. In the Silver Championship, Michael Magus leads by a mere 4 points over Jeremy Reeder and Oscar Tan. Wayne Hutchison and Connor Costantini are 3 points additionally back, so there's a heck of a battle going on there. And not so much in the bronze category, where... So, Byron, are you ready for these numbers?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just hearing that you're going to put Jeremy Reeder in the wall.
I'd have to go back there and find him.
Hey-o.
Mark Sobalski has scored 38 points. He leads the bronze championship. The other drivers combined have scored 24 points.
Dang.
So he is Dominating. He is Hulk Hogan WCW dominating.
Your favorite nation status.
He's got creative control over his storylines. So, definitely a race that has to go quite badly for him. So, to that end, we'll be cheering for Anthony Willis and for Tom Laws, just to give that championship a little bit of life, frankly.
All right, Tom, you know what to do. Strap on the rocket.
As we make our way through Ravazza, this is an interesting track because there is a long hole before the start. So a lot of people are going to be modulating the throttle quite heavily to avoid speeding. This has got to be the longest hole in ACC here at Imola on this straight line, or on this lead up to the start finish line. Big gap appearing there between the two Hondas of Zach Martin and Max Simmons. We still wait the green flag, and it will
never arrive.
Still hasn't dropped.
You're just gonna do this for 2 hours.
Still hasn't dropped. There we go. We are going on the run down to Tamburello for the first turn. Well, the second turn. The first turn is what we just went through. I don't know why that's considered a turn, frankly. There's like no input on the car there. Marcel Letelier holds the lead against Paul Riccobene. Max Simmons in third place. Aaron Alexander, Zach Martin rounding off the top 5. Oh! Too much curb there for Zach Martin. He will drop out of the top 5. Going side by side with Michael Magus. Contact. Magus scoots across the sand trap. And Mark Cebulski going quite off track as well. Letelier still leading from Riccobene. Then it is Simmons, Alexander, and I don't think it's Cebulski in 5th place. I think Magus is in 5th place, actually. Yes, he is. Cebulski is actually behind Anthony Willis. Anthony Willis had a bad start by the looks of it. He's been overtaken by a couple of cars and started behind him. On board with Mark Cebulski in the Lexus RCF, 7th place. For the bronze leader, Anthony Willis is ahead of him. Willis looking to get past Michael Magus. In the run-up to the Variante Alta. Big contact there, it looks like. That was a Honda sideways. I assume it was Max Simmons, because he was battling with Paul Riccobene and is no longer there. So Simmons is sideways at the Variante Alta. And that has promoted Aaron Alexander to 3rd place. But of course, as that was a first lap incident, it will be reviewed by the stewards. We'll see what happens.
Guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. You have been fined 72 kidneys. So you better get digging.
Better get digging for those kidneys. Michael Magus up into 4th place with Anthony Willis in behind him. Willis again having a very good start here. He qualified very well at Nürburgring. Had some trouble at the start of the race. Ended up being limited to a 7th place finish, but he is showing great improvements as a driver and is definitely a rising star on the 3D speed ranks and in ESR as a whole. I think he'll be silver before the end of this series. Oh, Oscar Tan is off!
He may be silver by the end of this race.
Well, there will be no adjustment after this race, so no.
But
Oscar Tan off at the Villeneuve Variante. And that will drop him to the back of the pack. Both the Hondas have had misfortune. Zach Martin running in 9th and Max Simmons in 11th place. Magus as he continues to battle with Willis, but has a little bit of breathing room now.
What you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis? In fact, I suggest that is a custom livery for Anthony Willis at some point. What you talking about?
Indeed. With some dynamite on the side. So I had me some Taco Bell today for lunch.
Oh, what'd you have?
I had the Crunch Wrap Triple Double Box, I think they called it.
I've never had one of those myself.
I had a Crunchwrap Supreme, a taco, some fries, cinnamon twists, a drink, and I think that's it. So Crunchwrap Supreme, obviously good to go. Taco was passable. Fries were KFC fries, so they're pretty good. And then the cinnamon twists were just kind of like crunchy air covered in sugar, and not my thing.
Gotcha.
But the real interesting thing is, for the first time ever, I've always heard about the Mountain Dew Baja Blast, but was never available. And it was finally available, and so I tried it. And probably wouldn't recommend. It's not that good.
All right.
So just have a regular Mountain fucking Dew. Don't bother with the... It's just Mountain Dew that they put sweet tarts in or something like that, and it's not a good combo.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing.
I kind of expected a different flavor.
Not had it myself, but that does not sound like something I would particularly.
You can get like a sample cup and try it. I'd recommend that, but outside of that, no.
Is it just like a case of like overloading like flavor and sugar, or is it just bad from first sip?
The wrong combination of flavors and too much sugar.
Gotcha. Mag is still under pressure from the 316 car of Anthony Wills. Also, he's got the 316 car number livery. Come on, Stone Cold Steve Austin demands representation.
Pistons 316 says, I just rubbed your ass.
So many things you can do. Aaron Alexander actually being caught by the battle for fourth place, so the BMW has possibly made a mistake or gotten off track at some point. As we check back with Wayne Hutchison, who is trailing Zach Martin. And in behind him is the Mercedes of Jeremy Reed. Cutting the chicane there. Reeder has historically been very quick here, actually. He, in the Sunday series, did a remarkable job in his Audi. And has been saying how the Mercedes does not agree with him all that much. So maybe a wrong selection for a car for Jeremy Reeder.
I think he just needs one extra piston to balance the car out.
Tom Law is drifting to the back of the pack. Oscar Tan has overtaken him, as well as Max Simmons. Wayne Hutchison in the classic 97 Aston Martin by Beach D. I actually really like that livery. It's a color combination you don't see a lot of in race cars. Wayne has been Mr. Steady all season long. Doesn't wow you with speed or pace, but he's there to pick up the scraps when it's there. 9th place at Silverstone, Spa, and his 7th place at Zandvoort.
So you're saying that his determination has not waned?
Indeed.
Excellent.
Jeremy Reeder under pressure from championship leader Max Simmons, who has just taken the fastest lap. Head into Variante Tamburello, a prime overtaking area. And Reeder is going to lose that position, I think. Yep, there we go. There's the Honda zipping through. 9th place for Max Simmons after his... whatever happened at Variante Alta, we didn't actually get a look at it, but he ended up sideways at the Variante Alta, dropped to the back of the pack. He's climbing back through and is showing off the pace right now. So little Discord news. I was talking with somebody in Discord chat, and we were talking about like the reign of terror of Max Simmons, the continual domination that he has displayed recently in ESR series, is just absolutely putting everything together and becoming a people. And he butted in and was like, "At least I'm not Stop Mill." I'm like, well, if he wins this race after falling to the back of the pack, he kind of is. Mark Cebulski off track, losing a spot to Hutchison, and also I think Simmons will go through as well.
Yeah, I've seen Stoffmill do that a few times.
I think the worst one in my experience with the stop mill was I'm gonna let this battle fail. Simmons going for the inside move here into Tamburello. Or not Willis, pardon. And he does make the overtake stick against Michael Magus.
You had every opportunity to put him in the wall, and you failed me.
Then would have got a penalty.
Only one.
Also, at this point in the race, we'll inside the cockpit here. I was pretty sure I was getting a penalty for lap 1 contact with Zach Martin. So, if you watch my onboard series over on my YouTube channel, that played a prominent commentary role. There's somebody off in the background there. I can't make up a car. Cebulski. I think it was probably Jeremy Reed. Would be my guess. We'll see if he dropped. Yep, I think it was Rear. I think he may have lost internet again.
Yeah.
Race. At least for now. ACC does allow you to come back if you disconnected, but if he comes back, he'll obviously be like laps down. But hey, 12 place is 12 place.
12th place will get you 75,000 points.
Anyways, my stop mill horror stories. We were doing GTR 2s at the Red Bull Ring and Race Room, and I was running in a podium position, 3rd place. And I'm like, oh my god, looks like a podium, so good. It was a reverse grid race, so you know I was under constant pressure. And at some point, it occurred to me that stop mill was not one of the 2 cars ahead of me. I was like, I am totally not staying on this podium. I look back through my MFD, look at the standings. There's stop mill in 7th place, just creeping closer and closer. Cue the Jaws music. And of course, Red Bull Ring is one of those tracks that actually has a lot of overtaking zones. So it's not like you can. It's not like I can just make my car super wide and keep it behind me. We watch Wayne Hutchison trying to do the same thing against Max Simmons, but this is Imola, and defensive driving has a lot more awards. I'm a little surprised, actually. Let's get throw it out here. That neither Simmons nor Martin decided to go for the undercut. There is that mandatory pit stop here today, so they could have pitted, fixed anything wrong with their cars, and just kind of gotten into clean air and done the undercut that way. But they have elected to just try that charge through the field the old way. It is a relatively short race, so the early pit stop is completely possible. You'll just have to load up on some fuel.
Yay, you knocked over the Toblerone.
One of those Pirelli signs getting beat up there through Aqua Minerale, and that will cost Wayne Hutchison the place. Accidents up to 7.
And $2 for paintwork.
Probably more than that, man. The paintwork on these things.
$3.
It's pricey. It's pricey. Also, it tends not to actually be a paint on these cars.
I was going to say, I assumed it was just like, that color plastic.
No, it tends to be a wrap, actually, around the car.
Oh, why bother? Just have your plastic shell made in that color. You don't have to wrap
Well,
anything.
because then your sponsors change.
Well, that's their fault.
Also, probably would be more expensive to get the car company to make a shell.
I don't know.
So the wrap is, I think, the best approach.
Well, you get some chicken in there and some hot sauce and just... Oh, different kind of wrap.
Mark Cebulski into the pit lane, so he'll be our first pit stopper. He's had a rough race so far. He's been off a couple of times for not really any discernible reason.
Drugs.
Ride on the back of the Honda of Max Simmons. Don't really know why. We're getting a nice look at what Wayne Hutchison looks like behind the car. As Michael Magus spins it.
What a hoe.
Spins it through Variante Villeneuve and will rejoin behind Wayne Hutchison. The 8th place. A rare mistake from Magus, who has historically had some very good results here at Imola.
I believe he came in at 36th place once.
Probably never 36th place. Our grids are just not usually that large. It's what it comes down to. Variante Alta once again. Aggressively taking that second curb. That'll unsettle the car, and the Audi does not handle curbs very well at all. It's its main weakness around here is actually getting through the Variante Alta as well as Tamburello. Something that other cars, such as the Aston Martin of Wade Hutchison, Zach Martin in the pits, second pit stopper. Zach Martin's had a rough season. The DNF at Silverstone did not help when his pedals completely failed. He had to miss Spa-Francorchamps due to technical difficulties as well. Picked up that 8th place at Zandvoort on a race where misfortune found him again, and it was really only last time out at Nürburgring where he nailed the podium that things really came together for him. But he's a very skilled, very talented driver, and if bad luck would stop finding him, it would probably be a championship factor.
Also, probably shouldn't have the Badger in the car with him when he's racing.
That's probably true as well. That would be part of that luck equation that we were talking about.
Gotta make your own luck. And part of that luck is putting the Badger in the trunk instead of in the cab.
Yes. Not really sure why we're on with Tom Was. No offense, Tom. I like the Bentley and all. Well, he's not racing anybody. He's very much on his own right now. It's like 20 seconds behind Oscar Tan and like most of a lap ahead of Zach Martin. So it's just, there's not really anything happening there. There's a lot of good battles going on here. We got a battle for the lead between Marcel Letelier and Paul Riccobeni. We got a battle for third place between Aaron Alexander and Anthony Willis. We got this fight we got the fight between Wayne Hutchison and Michael Magnussen. Just like that. Willis into the pit lane. He's going to try and play the undercut strategy to try to get himself onto the podium. Alexander with his fastest lap of the race, a 1:42.822. There's not much concern for like tire wear in this race because essentially the deal is that with this being a 40-minute race, these tires can last 40 minutes easily. So any pit stopping you're working on is you're looking at more strategic ideas to undercut or overcut the opponent as opposed to any kind of like tire plan.
You go into the pit, you take one drop of gas, and you leave immediately.
I would take more than one drop of gas to be honest, as Max Simmons makes his way around Mark Cebulski there. That is a lapping scenario. Oscar Tan also in the pit lane. You still kind of ideally want to get to about the halfway point in the race. It's just kind of that double check for fuel where like, okay, I've used X amount of fuel. I need that much again. That helps with the calculation. So you will still see a lot of pit stops occur around the 20-minute remaining mark in the race. But there's a great deal of tactical freedom here with no window and really no tire limitations to worry about. Although, Martin, I have a challenge for you. I want you to join a 3D speed race and kill your tires because I want it to be proven that 40 minutes, in fact, is enough time to murder a pair of a set of tires.
It's a scientific examination of friction.
Because these tires are supposed to go about 2 hours at their high end. Their endurance tires, even 3 hours is possible. So if Martin is the only person who I have faith. Marcel Letelier getting a little impatient with the blue flag here of Oscar Tan. Tan pitted and is now, well, basically going down a lap. And admittedly, here at Imola, you do need a lot of help from people in regards to the blue flag scenarios because there's not a lot of terribly safe places to overtake. Now, conspiracy theory here, Byron. You see the car that's in the background, the green and black one? That is Paul Riccobeni. Oscar Tan and Paul Riccobeni are teammates. So, could Oscar be playing a little bit of a pick move here for his team leader?
Well, I mean, if you're not, then you're just not trying.
Although it should be mentioned, against all odds, Paul Riccobeni is actually not the top member of WRT in the championship. It's actually Michael Magus right now.
Whoa.
Which is a bit weird.
I have literally never heard of this driver before. Tell me more of this young Michael Magus.
Tom Law's up to 7th place, although still effectively in last place. He just has not pitted, and the cars behind him have. Whoa. What do you want to know about this young up-and-comer, Michael Magnuson?
I hear that he's 17 feet tall and has 3 afros that he keeps in a bin.
Well, those are all wrong, unfortunately.
And that he may or may not
Oscar Tan.
eat limes whole.
Tan was a lot nicer to his teammate there under the blue flags than he was to race leader Latalia. I will say that. Number 46 car with the Skechers and Monster Energy sponsorship. Rick and Benny did have a podium at Zandvoort. Last time he was on the grid, he missed Nürburgring, which has really been a problem. He's another one that has suffered through a lot of bad luck. Had some bad luck at Silverstone when he was, well, the car that got in the way of Zach Martin's brake failure. And additionally had some problems at Spa-Francorchamps, picking up a track cut penalty, which he had to serve the drive-through for. And if you recall Spa-Francorchamps, it's a long pit lane. It's a long pit lane for that drive-through penalty. And that limited him on that occasion to a 10th place match.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
So he would be much higher in the championship, I think, right now, if not for some illy timed bad luck. Him and Zach Martin, kings of the bad luck. Still 7 cars to pit as we have made it past the halfway point. I think we'll see a rush for the pits, and of course, we'll probably see Max Simmons go super late as Michael Magus is putting the pressure on Wayne Hutchison for 5th place. We'll see which one of them blinks first and hits the pit lane to try to go for the undercut. Paul Riccobenni's in. Not this time. Hutchison and Magus will continue. This will be the battle for 4th place now, at least for the time being. As well as top Canadian honors. Which in ESR is as good as winning the race.
Okay.
Aaron Alexander still circulating in 2nd place. He's got a 4-second gap back to Max Simmons and is about 8 seconds behind the race leader. Make their way through Variante Villeneuve into Piratella. Magus going for the outside move. Pardon me, this is Tosa. They go side by side. And Wayne is going to stay ahead. You do not see a lot of overtakes around the outside of Tosa. It's not normally the preferred line through that corner. Into Piratella, and then to Aqua Minerale. Half the field is pitted, half the field has not pitted.
Are they using the appropriate amount of pit stick?
Ooh, a little bit rough there through Variante Alta from Hutchison, but Magus not close enough to try to capitalize. And we once again ask the question, which one of these will pit? Marcel Letelier, the race leader, is in. About Aaron Alexander to race leader, at least for the time being. And Hutchison's in. Magus will continue. A little inside baseball for you. Magus' decision there was entirely based on what Wayne did. If Wayne wasn't pitting, Magus was going to go in. If Wayne pitted, Magus was going to try and overcut.
And both strategies almost might have worked if it wasn't for those damn kids and that meddling dog.
I mean, in fairness, Magus has been his own enemy here. He's the one that spun through Variante Villeneuve, and that's what happens. We're up at Monza next for this series, and then the season finale will come at the home of Spanish motorsports, Barcelona. Circuit de Catalunya.
Not Macau.
Not Macau, no. Macau not in this game, and I would do everything in my power to keep it off the calendar. Especially in a 40-minute race. You can't do Macau in 40 minutes. We do have the American track pack, though, so next season of 3D Speed will probably feature some American tracks finally. We've got, oh, I'm blanking on some of the names now. It's Watkins Glen, Coda, and Indianapolis.
Coda Ibushi?
No, Coda is in Circuit of the Americas. Acronym. It would be interesting. Oh, Max Simmons is pitting before Aaron Alexander. What is this voodoo magic? Max going for the undercut. Magus is also in. So Tom Waz and Aaron Alexander yet to pit. Two heaviest cars have yet to pit: the BMW M4 and the Bentley Continental. Ironically, the two cars probably least capable of doing an overcut strategy. Alexander catching up to Oscar Tan. Still waiting for Simmons. Oh, Waz is in. So it's just Aaron Alexander yet to serve his mandatory pit stop. Assuming that Simmons, Magus, and Waz get their settings right and actually do clear the pit stop. We've yet to have a problem where someone's pitted without actually clearing their mandatory, but it is possible to do if you do not change tires.
What if you change them into saw blades?
Not sure that would really work, actually. Because I think you just break them over the course of the race. Has Simmons gotten out ahead of Riccobene?
Wow.
Because it's still... Hang on, we're waiting for updates on the timing before I get too congratulatory. But I think Simmons may have actually pulled it off. Nope, I'm wrong. Riccobene is out ahead of Max Simmons, although the gap is very close. 7 seconds about the difference between the two cars now. Mark Sobalski under pressure from Wayne Hutchison. What happened with Wayne Hutchison's pit stop? Wayne, you got to give us feedback in the comments, my man, because your pit stop was very long and it put you out nowhere near where you were in the flow of things beforehand.
I believe he stopped for a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Could be. Aaron Alexander is in the pit lane, so the final pit stopper is in. That will probably give the lead back to Letelier because Alexander was not terribly close to him. We'll see where Alexander rejoins within the kind of area of Riccobene, Simmons, and Willis, I think, as well as Zach Martin. We are looking at right now trailing Anthony Wilson about 5th place. What may turn into 4th place. So we go. Marcel Letelier, the Chilean, leads. Would you believe that Marcelo has never won a race under the ESR banner?
I would believe that if you told me that it was the truth.
It is. Stop-go penalty for Aaron Alexander. That will be for speeding in the pit lane.
Dang.
So that does happen here a lot. I said at the beginning, Imola tends to breed speeding in the pit lane penalties because there's a relatively high-paced section that leads into the pit lane, and it's a very abrupt speed limit line at Imola. It is common to see the stop-go penalties here. Riding on board with Paul Riccobene, who runs in 2nd place. Anthony Willis in 5th. That will soon be 4th place because in the next 3 laps, we will see Aaron Alexander head down the pit lane to serve his penalty.
Is it best served hot or cold?
Well, you're hot when you come in, and then you're cold when you come out.
Dang.
So it's a bit of a cooling process also.
What if you just did a non-stop brake stand in the pit lane?
Wouldn't actually really do anything because there's no heat being transitioned to the brakes in that situation. before the tires. So I gotta give a shout out to the Assetto Corsa designers of the track here. So you can see how beyond the track there's a fair amount, like there are buildings, replicated, environmental features, and so on. There is a small bridge that goes underneath this track near Variante Tamburello. Next time we see it, I'll kind of cite it out for people who are not aware of the track corner names as Ariana Sander comes to service penalty. It's this one coming up right here. Not that one because we changed to a different car, but we were coming up to it. They've actually modeled the tunnel underneath the track. They've done that level of detail with the track work around here. If you pop up a replay and go into free cam, you can explore basically a fair amount of the outside of this track, which is interesting and yet somehow doesn't. I mean, it probably does demand more resources from the computer, in fairness, but it is interesting that they went to that level of detail to get the tracks authentic.
Complete with pigeons flying directly into your windshield.
Not usually much of a problem. Pigeons are usually smart enough to avoid racetracks. Anthony Willis running in fourth place. He's behind one Honda and ahead of the other one. Pressure is on. Alexander rejoining in 10th place ahead of Tom Wass. So what do you think? You think Zach Martin's got what it takes to get past that Nissan GTR? By the way, Nissan having a great day in first and fourth place for a car that is not BOP favored in Assetto Corsa right now. It's considered a handicapped car. It is doing remarkably well here around him. Zach thinking about trying to go around the outside of Tamburello. I don't think you can do that. Let's see. I think the problem for that Honda is most of the premier overtaking spots involve curbs. And the Honda does not handle curbs nearly as well as that Nissan GTR does. Which I think is a secret to the base. You see, like, that Nissan using a lot more curb through Variante Villeneuve than most of the other cars are doing or are capable. Is helping him keep his speed up. Godzilla is coming for Imola.
I believe all he did was put cocaine in the gas tank.
Oh, that might work too. Not really much drama at the front of the pack. Letelier is actually pulling away from Riccobeni, and the gap between Simmons and Riccobeni is remaining more or less stationary. Not a very good lap there from Willis, so he is feeling the pressure from Martin. Don't blame him. Zach Martin is a driver with a fair amount of consummate overtaking skill. By the way, we have a very rare thing there. So, Byron, you see how the number 1 beside Letelier and the number 3 beside Simmons are both purple right now? That means that they both have fastest lap.
Oh, simultaneous.
Simultaneous speed. Or, well, not simultaneous, because, I mean, it means that at some point in the race they have done the same fastest lap, though. But
that is to
the 1,000th of a second, they have the same lap time. Very Jerez 1997 in Formula 1. Drive-through penalty for Anthony Willis.
Oh my God.
Track cut at Piratella. The stewards were watching Piratella very, very closely during this race, and a number of cars were given warnings for, let's call it, liberal use of track limits there. And Anthony Willis has been burned with a drive-through penalty. Bad luck continues for him. Not so much bad luck as at Nürburgring it was completely out of his control. He got taken out by out by Michael Magus on the first lap because Michael Magus was harpooned into him by Mark Sabalski. And,
that seems like maybe you're just projecting something.
Oh no! There was a big driver briefing after the race to look at the incident, and almost everyone was like, "That is amazingly aggressive driving by Sabalski." He received a Tier 2 penalty for that. Aaron Alexander battling with Tom Was over 10th place. Not exactly where you thought he'd be at the start of this race. Pressure is on. But at Jerez 1997, the European Grand Prix, during qualifying, Jacques Villeneuve set a time that put him on pole. Michael Schumacher then went out and posted the exact same time to go second fastest.
Dang.
And then it gets worse. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Villeneuve's teammate, went out and posted the same time for a three-way tie. As they go side by side, entering Ravazza here between Tom Was and Aaron Alexander. I think Alexander's got this. He's got the inside line. They both overcook it. Well, Was is going to get that back. I wonder if Alexander I think Alexander gave him that spot back. He felt bad about causing the boat to overcook it, I think. Because, I mean, that gap grew, and it really should not have grown to the level that it is. Because that gap is now up to probably over a second. 3 seconds in. Wayne Hutchison on the tail of Anthony Willis, who was rejoined after his drive-through penalty in 8th place. Behind Mark Sabalski. That is unfortunate because that means Sabalski on a pace for another max haul of points in the Bronze Championship today. And it's getting hard to see anyone else bringing that title home. And this is nothing against Mark Sabalski. Dude has earned it. He's done an amazing job this season, shown great turn of pace. But it is always a little bit boring when 2 out of the 3 cups are being decided really early in the season. And that leaves us really just with the silver battle.
So what you're saying is that if Sabalski plays his cards right, he might be able to start accepting bribes to take a dive.
I don't think he even has to play his cards right on that. He's in a position right now to be paid to be bribed to take a dive. I think he's there already. Alexander has gotten past Was. Joined them in the battle at Aqua Minerale. Having seen the drive-through penalty actually for Willis, though, that line through Aqua Minerale is pretty aggressive from Alexander. Let's put that. As the race leader Marcel Letelier is catching up to them to put them a lap down. Might not happen. It's only 3 minutes to go, so we're looking at probably 2 to 3 laps to go, and they might be able to retain their lead lap status. Simmons is closing on Riccobeni, but I don't think it's fast enough to really put up a fight on it. Michael Magus has somehow overtaken Zach Martin.
Whoa.
And has found himself into 4th place. Martin down to 5th. Then it's Tan, Sabalski, Willis, Hutchison, and Alexander. Was, who you're looking at right now, is in 11th. And
Magus is coming for Simmons. He's right behind him.
Really not. It's like a 20-plus second gap, so no, it's really not.
Dead ass coming for it.
You think you can back that up? I got bruises and everything. I don't know. Back that up. Man, the greatest one-use character in Aqua Team Hunger Horses.
Correct. It's either him or the ghost of the future passed to the present.
True. It's also very good. Anthony Willis on the tail of Mark Sabalski. Go Willis! Again, this is nothing against Mark Sabalski. I just want the bronze trophy to have some competition. And Right now, we're kind of reliant on Anthony Willis to generate some pace. The ESR commentary booth is in no way prejudiced against our drivers. We just simply will cheer for the ones that lead to the most competition.
Correct. We breed chaos.
Less chaos and more just want action. We want storylines to talk about. Drive-through penalty for Zach Martin.
I need Riccobeni to channel his inner Emmanuel and choose violence.
Choose violence.
There was an Evu that went viral a couple of weeks ago for a little bit. His name is Emmanuel, and
I've seen this. Yes.
Yeah, it lives on a hobby farm, and so the lady that runs the hobby farm is trying to put people to the wall. I'm trying to go Emmanuel, choose violence on that one. Inside
move there from Willis. Good defense on the intro to Aqua Minerale, but unable to keep it nice and tidy by Mark Cebulski. Drop in behind Willis now into 8th place. Still not a big deal for him. He has a massive lead in the Bronze Championship, but every little bit does help. Zach Martin is going to serve his drive-through penalty rather than take a time penalty. I think that's the right call, actually. The pit lane here at Imola is relatively short, so I think the time penalty would have been, at the end of the day, probably worse. So we'll see if he rejoins behind these two. Oh yeah, not particularly close. They're through as well as Wade Hutchison. Cebulski would really like that 7th place back, or that 6th place now back. Willis.
Wilbur.
I believe Martin should rejoin ahead of Aaron Alexander and Tom Watts without issue. Checker flag will be shown to the cars next time through the start-finish line.
The leader has finished the race.
And there is your race winner, the Nissan GTR of Marcelo Letelier. Japanese domination in 3D speed. 4 wins for Honda and now 1 for Nissan in 5 races. Did not see that coming. Neither of those cars are considered high-end BOP cars at any of these tracks, and yet we are seeing it. The Audi of Paul Riccobeni comes home 2nd ahead of the Honda. Max Simmons, championship leader Simmons in 3rd place. Michael Magus will probably finish 4th by the looks of the gaps. There he is. And we await Oscar Tan and the rest to hit the checkered flag. Tom Wass is officially finished in 11th place. A lapped 11th. And Willis is going to hang on for that bronze victory here today. 6th place overall, Cebulski 7th, Hutchison 8th, and then it'll be probably Zach Martin and Aaron Alexander in 9th and 10th place. They are quite a ways apart. Big power slide and the spin to celebrate 6th place for Anthony Willis. Something you would not do in real life because they'd be like, so you're going to pay for that. Zach Martin passing through in 9th place. And Aaron Alexander will be the last car to finish here today. All right, let's talk championship here. Of course, these results are pending stewarding from Jack Hundviksen, or to Joachim Hundviksen to give his full name. Max Simmons is still your championship leader on 212 points. Marcel Letelier, finally an ESR race winner, is in 2nd place, 161. Aaron Alexander is on 114. Dan French was absent today. He's on 102. Paul Riccobeni rounding off the top 5 at 98 points. Rounding off the top 10, we got Michael Magus, Mark Cebulski, Oscar Tan, Jeremy Reeder, and Zach Martin. In the Teams Championship, it is Overclock Racing HPD, who were outscored today 88-46, but still lead the championship 274-263 over WRT Motorsports. Lexus passed in 3rd place on 128. They're really just battling with 905 racers for that final spot on the podium. In the Silver Championship, Michael Magus has built a 6-point lead over Oscar Tan. Wayne Hutchison is in third place, followed by Jeremy Reeder and Connor Costantini. And in the Bronze Championship, Mark Sabalski still leads the championship with 46 points to 20 for Anthony Willis. The problem is that even if Sabalski were to not show up for the remaining 2 races, and please show up, it's a limited grid. I'm not in any way suggesting this as an option, but I'm just saying mathematically, the championship there is over, as there are only 20 points up for grabs between Monza and Barcelona. He has a 26-point lead over Anthony Willis. So, Mark Sabalski, congratulations. You are the bronze champion of the series. Silver is still very much up for grabs. The overall championship is still at play, but the number of points that Max Simmons has to score to lock that up are fairly limited. Just put it that way. And Byron, do you have any final thoughts as we depart Imola and go to a slightly different part of Italy, a slightly more religious part of Italy,
Whoa.
for the Temple of Speed, Monza?
I mean, if we're going to a more religious part of Italy, you make sure to bring some hammers, some chisels, and some sacks, and you can get a lot of gold out of a lot of things.